Academics, public health experts, and campaigners are calling for a pushback against the food industry's influence in UK schools and nurseries. An investigation by the BMJ has shown how much the food industry has worked its way into children's education through things such as breakfast clubs and healthy eating campaigns. Experts told me these tactics need a lot more scrutiny, alongside the action against alcohol and gambling companies funding education programmes in schools. When I spoke to Mae van Schalkwijk, a specialist doctor in public health, she said the issue was subtle but very problematic.
So there's no smoking gun here. It's not like the tobacco industry funding inhalers, but it's classic industry activities, completely reframing the problem. We haven't even stopped to ask, is any of this acceptable for children?
For more than 20 years, Kellogg's and Greggs have sponsored school breakfast clubs in the UK, reaching thousands of primary school children. Another example is Food a Fact of Life, an education programme provided by the British Nutrition Foundation, or BNF. The programme includes resources and training for teachers from reception up to GCSE. The BNF is funded by its members, which include British Sugar, Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, Kellogg's, Mars, Nestle, Greggs and McDonald's. Critics told me this kind of stealth marketing allows these brands, which make foods high in fat, salt and sugar, to present themselves as part of the solution to the obesity crisis, while also pushing the very products that have contributed to it.
In my opinion, there are several things going on here. Number one, the companies are laundering their reputations. Number two, they're creating some brand awareness. So yes, they are giving some healthy food and some sensible nutrition advice, but they're also creating awareness of a brand that sells a lot of products that we all are pretty clear don't have the healthiest profiles. There's then another problem that these are the same companies that have contributed in many ways to creating a food environment that makes it impossible for children to follow even really, really top quality nutrition advice. And the final problem is the advice is, in my view, often a bit incomplete. So whilst it is sensible to say to kids, you should eat fresh fruit and veg, whether or not you can afford it or access it, what is often seems to be left out is, what about harmful food? Are these companies giving kids clear advice about the kind of harmful products that they make?
In response, Greggs told me its Greggs Foundation is an independent grant-making charity, and that the Breakfast Club programme is a long-term initiative of 25 years that represents a strong commitment by the Greggs Foundation to support schools, pupils and families where need is greatest. Greggs plc is one of its funders and donates 1% of its annual profits to the foundation each year. A Kellogg's spokesperson says, breakfast clubs can help to improve children's attendance and attainment, as well as alleviating hunger in some cases. The commitment from Kellogg's to help schools through its breakfast club grants can also be a lifeline to parents too. The BNF says its content is based on the school curricula, developed by former teachers and overseen by its science director and independent education working groups. Frank Atherton, the Chief Medical Officer for Wales, and Jerry Taylor, spokesperson for the Association of Directors of Public Health, are among those who publicly raised concerns about stealth marketing by the food industry.
If you have a food company sponsoring your breakfast club, you have to consider what they are providing and what they are getting out of it. The dilemma becomes, is it better to have a breakfast club sponsored by them than no breakfast club at all? When you have an organisation providing advice to school children around things like nutrition, alcohol, gambling, again, what is their motivation? Sometimes you'll find that the advice is around personal responsibility. It's up to you if you're eating the wrong foods or drinking too much, rather than the responsibility of organisations not to be promoting these things to children. However much they may be thinking about the public good, obviously they've got conflicting outcomes that they want to achieve. Their main raison d'etre is to sell their product.